New revelations from Pentagon assessments show the U.S. has borne the brunt of Israel's missile defense during recent hostilities with Iran. Data obtained by the Washington Post reveals that American forces expended far more advanced interceptors than Israel itself, raising concerns about U.S. military readiness worldwide. According to officials, the U.S. launched more than 200 THAAD interceptors, that is nearly half of its total inventory, along with over 100 standard missile interceptors from naval vessels in the eastern Mediterranean. By comparison, Israel fired fewer than 100 Arrow interceptors and about 90 David Sling interceptors. Analysts say the numbers highlight a lopsided dynamic. Some call the imbalance striking, noting that while Israel conserved its stockpiles, the U.S. was left with depleted reserves and a production line unable to keep pace with demand. If the United States and Israel resume hostilities against Iran, officials warn the imbalance in missile defense could grow. They say U.S. military could expend an even greater share of interceptors because of a recent decision by the Israeli military to take some of its missiles defense batteries offline for maintenance. In a statement, the Pentagon defended the imbalance of military resources used between Israel and the United States. Pentagon officials insist both nations shared the defensive burden equitably, pointing to fighter aircraft and counter-drone systems also deployed. But the assessments suggest U.S. carried the heavier load, which has already consumed thousands of high-end munitions. Tensions have reportedly grown between the two allies as the war has proven more challenging than expected. Iran's closure of the Strait of Hormuz has choked global energy supplies and driven inflation even higher. After a tense phone call between President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, divisions emerged over whether to resume hostilities or pursue diplomacy. Unlike Netanyahu, Trump signaled interest in a deal, even as Iran reportedly retains about 70% of its missile stockpiles and much of its enriched uranium in nuclear facilities bombed by the U.S. last year. According to Iran state media, Tehran is now reviewing a new U.S. proposal to end the war, but questions remain about America's ability to sustain its global commitments. It is unclear whether munition shortages will shape Trump's decision on renewed strikes. Meanwhile, a Bloomberg report says that Iran has destroyed more than 24 U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drones since the war began, a loss worth nearly $1 billion. At least 24 Reapers, possibly as many as 30, have been lost. Some were shot down mid-flight, others destroyed on the ground. The drones, costing about $30 million each, represent 20% of America's pre-war inventory. The losses add to mounting costs for the U.S. and Israel's war effort. The United States also lost 2 crewed aircraft over Iran, an F-15E Strike Eagle and an A-10 Thunderbolt II, along with several other planes, tankers and cargo aircraft. All crew members were rescued, but replacing the systems will cost billions. Radar systems worth hundreds of millions have also been damaged, adding to the strain on America's global commitments.